Friends, welcome. Welcome to the National Opera Center, both here in person and via live stream. I'm Marc Scorca, president of Opera America, and I'm thrilled to be here with my colleague Jamila Romalis to announce the awards for digital excellence in opera for 2023. As I said last year, the relationship between opera and the media is a long-standing one, starting with the radio broadcasts from the Metropolitan Opera in the 1930s. In terms of a visual connection to opera through the media, we can highlight the NBC Opera Theater that was established in 1949, and some of you may have enjoyed some of those incredible television excerpts of opera from those days. Remember that Menotti's Amal was composed for its historic premiere on television in 1951. I remember being crowded around the television in 1977 for the Met's first telecast of La Bohème, precursor to the live from the Met in HD, that broadcasts opera around the world. But opera is naturally suited to media. It is a multimedia art form that was established in around 1600, and it took the rest of the world 400 years to catch up with us. But from the onset of the COVID crisis, digital work emerged as a dynamic platform for the creativity of enterprising artists and for opera companies that wanted to stay in touch with their audiences during the pandemic. At that moment, an art form that normally requires years of advanced planning became improvisatory, as staff members without any prior experience working in the media suddenly developed new skills and new relationships with experts and service providers who had never before worked in opera. And a lot of those relationships continue even today. Since then, live transmissions have become standard practice at some opera companies. New works are being created for the digital medium, and opera lovers are gaining an opportunity to explore rare pieces, new pieces, experimental pieces that are pointing to the future of the art form. People who are just curious about opera get to explore it, usually in the comfort of their own homes, usually for free, and it really is helping build the opera audience. Our research indicates that last year, there were more first-time attenders at most opera companies than had ever attended for the first time before. That's great news. We have a grant from the National Endowment for the Arts that we just received to do focus groups and surveys in cities across the country to learn more about these first-time attenders, what's motivated them to come and what will get them to come back. But I know that we will learn that access to opera on the digital platforms is an element in building this new audience. But these are challenging times. The end of federal pandemic support and rising costs are challenging the financial stability of many companies. It's tempting to fall back to producing opera in the familiar surroundings of a well-equipped theater. But we feel it is critical to continue investing in creativity in the digital sphere for opera. Our awards program will shine a spotlight on this important element of the opera enterprise and help establish qualitative benchmarks so that everyone can see what seems to be the best work among all of the submissions that we received. These winners tonight, like last year, will demonstrate what is possible in our world. We have 4 categories: artistic creation, university or conservatory projects, education and enrichment projects, and what we call noteworthy projects. In total, we received 69 submissions. In the first round, 14 judges selected 16 finalists. Then, 9 panelists with diverse industry expertise viewed all of the finalist submissions to select the winners. The awards for digital excellence in opera are made possible by the generosity of the Joseph and Robert Cornell Memorial Foundation. We are tremendously grateful to Foundation trustees Joe Erdman and Melissa Young for their generous and enthusiastic support of this project. As a little bit of background information, I encourage everyone to get to know about Joseph Cornell. He was a remarkable American artist based here in New York City. His most celebrated medium was called assemblage. He installed discarded objects or fragments of objects into display boxes in surrealist juxtaposition. He's considered a leading American surrealist of his day, and there are many exhibits of his work around the country. The Art Institute of Chicago has a really noteworthy collection. But he was also an experimental filmmaker using the same approach of assemblage, where he would create films out of fragments of pre-existing films. His 1936 film, Rose Hobart, was shown at the Museum of Modern Art here in New York, and in attendance was Salvador Dali, who had had the idea about assemblage in film, but hadn't yet executed it. And he went and he upbraided Joseph Cornell for doing it, and Joseph Cornell continued to do it, but didn't show them quite as frequently. It's fitting that a great filmmaker should be associated with our awards, but there's another point of intersection, and that's the other part of the foundation, Robert Cornell. Robert Cornell suffered from cerebral palsy, and his brother Joseph took care of him throughout his life. So not only does our effort in digital opera, in opera on various medium platforms, not only does it show a kind of creativity, but it also promotes accessibility for people who are not able to enjoy opera in the theater. So once again, our thanks to Joe Erdman and Melissa Young for their continuing support of this project. Now, it takes a team to administer a program like this. I extend deep thanks to Jamala Ramawi, to Catherine Baltrish-Little, Diana Hossack, Andrew McIntyre, and the entire Opera America staff. Thank you all, and now over to Jamila.
Good evening. Thank you, Marc. It's been incredible to see how creators and producers have continued to run with the opportunities that the digital space provides, and to get to highlight some of this work. All projects were released for digital consumption in the year of 2022. The 16 finalists were the outstanding in each category. We set out to award one winner in each of these categories, but in one case, we had two winners. The country's universities, conservatories, and young artist training programs have been increasingly called upon to train emerging performers, creators, and producers to navigate both the long-entrenched traditions of opera as well as evolving mediums, languages, and modes of creating. As the world continues to shift rapidly in real time, so too do the skills that developing artists need, not to just work in the now, but to express and connect as artists. With one another, with themselves, and as the new world takes shapes with us. In these training grounds, artists learn the form and function, but also how to take the artistic risks essential to this work. Our finalists achieved that delicate balance.
There were two finalists in this category. Operas in Place, produced by Baldwin Wallace Conservatory Opera, Cleveland Opera Theater, and On-Site Opera, and Purcell's Dido and Aeneas, a cinematic opera produced by Cleveland Institute of Music.
And the winner is Operas in Place, produced by Baldwin Wallace Conservatory Opera, Cleveland Opera, and On-Site Opera. Here to accept this award is Sarah Myers from On-Site Opera. Now, let's watch some of Operas in Place.
Cinderella, 99 shoes. 99 every night the same.
I am not married to, and I am not married to. Beautiful, Freddy originals. Then the food arrives. When causes on easy chance lie. Well, more or less.
I do.
You will no longer be alone. We are saved. We are saved. Jesus Christ! Click the link, summon the dead. Seance starts at midnight. Let the virtual stage begin. During this seance,
Education and enrichment programming is typically considered to be about making opera more accessible. To take this sometimes esoteric and make it comprehensible. It's been invigorating to see this goal take on a new artist's significance. In this space, the increasing comfort with technology is allowing more kinetic ways for audiences of all ages to connect with the art form and artists. Far from creating a new barrier, creators in this space are using the screen to break the fourth wall and invite viewers into the rich complexities of opera, highlighting that opera is an ongoing process and not an endpoint to be answered. The finalists' works include audiences directly in that process.
And the finalists are Date with Divas, Volume 2, produced by Opera Sostenida, and In Song,
Where's my
produced
home?
by
This is a really good
Lumahai
question.
Productions and
What
San Francisco
I am able
Opera.
to share as an
The
artist
third one is
an
Playground
extremely
Opera's
linked
Hansel and
with
Gretel,
how connected
produced
I
by
am with my
Opera
people.
on
This is
Tap.
the dream. Now live.
Our story begins at a cottage on the outskirts of the dark woods. A mother and her 2 children are hard at work.
And the winner is In Song, produced by Lumahai Productions and San Francisco Opera. Here to accept the award, Molly McBride from Lumahai Productions. And now please enjoy some of In Song.
There is a strange sense of feeling like I'm coming home in a way, but also very much like a stranger in a familiar land. I'm not going to say a foreign land. I think as an artist who is of Latin origin, but who has grown up in the States, I haven't had many opportunities to present that side of me and to connect my heritage specifically with what I do as an artist. I came to Argentina with a little bit of trepidation because I sort of wondered how big of a claim I had to Piazzolla's music. Sometimes I think, oh, well, is this my music? Does this belong to me too? The chance to get to do music like this is huge.
De Buenos Aires soy yo.
I carry lots of love from different kinds of people from my past. And also I carry my love from my parents. Where I sing is gonna be my home. But I always carry my father's dream in my heart. And that's why he feels very happy about what I'm doing right now.
When you dream, nobody actually tells you all the details of that dream. It's like a house just being a skeleton. And you have to be the person who grows into governing the house.
Can I sing with you? Yes. I think you'd know it, actually.
If I want to be part of something this extraordinary, there's something that needs to change in me. I have to grow even more to govern the gifts, to govern what's to come.
To us, noteworthy projects are those that beg but also answer the question, is this an opera? Opera also often feels consuming, intense, pulling every other auditory, theatrical, and visual medium into its sphere. The digital medium expands that definition, but doesn't change it. The finalists' works in this category may challenge conceptions of opera while affirming that this work is not a monolith, but rather a live, fluid, multidimensional, ultimately undeniable experience.
In this category, there were 4 finalists. The first, Chess, produced by Rebecca Gray.
From opposite sides of the couch.
The second,
She was there and not there. Glassy-eyed, with a slow and beautiful smile.
The second is the web opera, produced by Michael Roth. The third is Whiteness, Part 1, produced by Paul Pinto.
Is an immersive 360-degree audiovisual installation that incorporates floating heads and rapid-fire typography.
And the last one is Bound, produced by Against the Grain Theater.
Now, there are 2 winners in this category. The winners are Whiteness, Part 1, produced by Paul Pinto, and Jess, produced by Rebecca Gray. Here is some of Whiteness, Part 1.
I have made like multi-channel pieces, but have never really made something that I guess is literally a circle. Just trying to figure out how to continue to like engage the viewer, but not overwhelm, and like continue to find unexpected like hidden moments inside of the piece was really a lot to wrap my head around. Culture Hub was really helpful in allowing us to have space to play with projectors and to play with translucent materials that we could project on. Also creating this almost video game 3D simulator environment that we could just plop the videos into to get a sense of what was working and what was not working.
One of the great luxuries and benefits of this Culture Hub residency and this generous lending of the space with La Mama is to try out this larger version.
For a long time, I actually didn't know that Ellen Stewart was Black. It was just so impactful to realize that this pioneer in this performance and avant-garde space was this Black woman that was holding space for all of these people to be able to try things and throw up these like different ideas. So you can really feel that history in this room, and it's an honor to be able to engage with that and show work here. Conceptually, there's so much more to explore, thinking about identity as a part of this piece.
I guess the first step is writing more, writing the next part. And I have all this text from all this research and these micro songs that didn't make it into this cut.
With like an endless budget and resources, the hope would be to really make it even larger.
Not just in duration, but also numbers of heads, numbers of channels of audio, size of video, capacity of audience. Audience come in and they're suddenly surrounded by this huge white canvas. Is it in space? Do we like try this in 0G? Does this work outside?
Also, just being able to get more people to see it. I think that's always a challenge with the work, is that it only exists for a limited amount of time and only so many people have access to it.
And then there's the idea of incorporating a live element in some way. With some thoughts, but that's also part of the discussion.
And here is some of Jess.
I had a dream I needed brain surgery. The brain needs blood like a plant needs water. When the blood flow stops, the brain dies.
And when it does, it will grow differently than it did before. The brain needs blood like a plant needs water. Nothing feels the same. Nothing is where I left it. There are walls waiting was me.
Artistic creation is probably the best, most succinct definition of opera. In an art form capable of exploring every facet of the human experience, every tool has its place. Here paint, there fabric, now light, then camera, always sound, always people. Opera is the work of knitting together all other art forms, including digital media, to do the work of creating not only entertainment or art, but human connection. To paraphrase from one of our finalist works, to work is to tell our stories.
In this last category, there were 7 finalists. The first, Beyond, produced by the Dallas Opera. The first Bluebird in the Morning, produced by LA Opera. Identity, a song cycle produced by Against the Grain Theater.
It was tough to express my identity to anyone for fear of being called out and being told, you're not black.
Orlando, the Baroque opera by Handel set in a community garden on the Lower East Side in New York City, produced by Opera Praktikos. Svadba, produced by Boston Lyric Opera and Opera Philadelphia. Medusa's Children, produced by OperaQ. And finally, In a Grove, produced by Pittsburgh Opera.
And the winner is Svadba, produced by Boston Lyric Opera and Opera Philadelphia. Here to accept the award as Melanie Bacalling from Boston Lyric Opera. And here is some of Svadba.
Etsy, Betsy, Beats. Tisi, Mali, Zets. Yasamala, Prepelica. Etsy, Petsy, Beats. Endendinu, Savarakatinu, Savarakatika, Savarakatika, taka, tika, taka, tika, taka, tika, taka, elembellem troef, trief, traf, troef. America boef.
Friends, thank you for being here this evening and for your response to this work. It's wonderful that in the digital space we can all watch these outstanding productions. And Jamila, just remind me, how can people see these, both the finalists and the winners?
In the confirmations that were sent out, there's a finalist link. You can watch all of the videos.
So in the link that was sent out, you can follow all of those and see the different creations that were submitted and made it as finalists or as winners. We hope that you'll enjoy exploring this work, creating and exploring this work into the future. With you, we will create another element of the opera experience that will attract new audiences and enrich the art form that has been evolving for more than 400 years. For those who are with us on the live stream, thanks for watching. For those who are here in the audience, we're going to have a reception right outside in the lobby. You are invited to chat, meet some of the producers, some of the winners, and talk about this great work. Thank you for being here.